Alrighty, everybody. We on another episode with All Elite with Keeks. I know it's Monday. It's Monday Night Football. It's also Monday Night Raw, and it's also All Elite with Keeks. So I'm gonna give people like a good 2 minutes before they start getting in the chat. How was your day today? I know you had a busy weekend.
Yes, I was just relaxing today. Thankfully, I am still jet lagged. I was only in New York for 27 hours.
Oh, did you
Yes.
get some touring in?
No. I drove by Times Square and I drove by the Radio Music City Hall, but that's about it. I wish I would have done more. So next time I go, I'll definitely stay the whole weekend.
Yes, because I know when I went out there, they gave me the whole tour. I got a chopped cheese. I've got
chopped cheese. What is this?
They say it's just a sandwich, but I told them that's a spread. It's basically ground meat on a sandwich bun. I'm just like, it's a spread to me, but it's good though. They're gonna get me again for saying that. But it's good. It's basically like a hamburger helper sandwich.
I need to try that. I'm gonna add that to my list.
Yes, it's real good though. But welcome everybody. If you're on Twitter, watch it from Twitter, watch it from YouTube. Welcome to another episode with All Elite Keeks. This is another ladies' night. I'm here with Willow from Wrestling Winedown. I don't have my wine today, but if you have wine out there, drink for us.
Drink up. We're staying hydrated with water, but drink up if you have it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we got our water right now. We've been turning up all weekend. This is our water time. We're going to get into Dynamite Rampage, Battle of the Belts, and of course some women's business. The votes came in for Goofy of the Week, and we'll also get into our AEW Wrestler of the Week. So we're going to get into some things this week. We're going to start off with Dynamite, the results of Dynamite. It started off with, how you doing, Sean? It started off with MJF versus Willow. And that was a great match to me. Good young lions. I like seeing young lions at their best. Yuta brought the best out in MJF a lot. This was different from what I've been seeing of him in the last 3 years since he's been in AEW. What did you think about this match?
I thought this was a great opening match. These two, they have great chemistry together, in-ring chemistry together. But I also have to add, MJF, when he was out doing his thing and the LI, not on TV, he got in great shape. Like, this man has a six-pack now. MJF, you gonna do some modeling on the side? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Well. He's not a bad-looking guy, so he might as well just use a little sex appeal, Sex do sales, we know because you got the Warlow thing started. So, but we'll get into that when we start talking about him. But yeah, that was a like you said, great chemistry. It brought out like the hard technical style for MJF because this was my first time in a while seeing him wrestle in a technical manner that he did.
Right.
So it was really good. It wasn't a let jag match or nothing like that. It was really good. It had audience on their feet. The crowd was divided. Some was cheering MJF, some was cheering Yuta. So it was a great match. Hey Ken, hey y'all in the chat. Thanks for coming, y'all. Make sure y'all give y'all flowers hello, and we respect our guests up in here. Okay.
I did like the end of the match. So we saw William Regal get involved, and he pulled out his brass knuckles. William Regal, he will fight for two things. He will fight for Blackpool Combat Club, and he will fight for the man with the mask, okay? But, I mean...
he loves Excalibur. He loves him some Excalibur.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, flowers for the...
Love it.
Love it. He's so cute. It's like he got a cute baby face. His ass got a baby face. But yes, so yeah, after the match. And then also we had the evil Frank Ocean came out and he attacked Willow building his heel character. So we had that going on. So, we may see something between Evil Frank Ocean and Willow Yuta. That might be a good look.
Tony coming up this Friday night Rampage, 10/9 Central on TNT.
But it was interesting that MJF, he kind of seemed a little bit apprehensive that Lee attacked Yuta. So I'm wondering if there's a story there as well.
Yeah. I saw that too. I forgot about that. But yeah. Yes, Evil Frank Ocean. That's the name. Don't kill me for that, but that's your name. I got nicknames for everybody. We had that happen, and then after that happened, we also we had Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal. We won't get too much, on that because y'all know Jay Lethal was the goofy of the week last week, so y'all know how I already feel. Darby Allin took the win. Then we had Satam and Sanjay came out or whatever. They was upset at Jay Lethal for shaking hands with Darby Allin. So that might tense like a little breakup about to happen between those three or whatever. Not too long on that match, you guys. We're going to keep it going. Then we had Lowe's favorite. We had the meat versus meat. We had Wardlow versus Brian Cage. Come on, Lowe's. You got the flow in this one because we know how you feel about Wardlow.
You know what? I feel like Wardlow needs a solid built-out feud. This match was good. Brian Cage hasn't been involved in AEW in a hot minute, and I think Wardlow was, great competition for him. But I could see these two going into a built-out feud. But Wardlow needs it. He's had this title for a while now, and people online are starting to complain a little bit. Like, what are you doing with Wardlow? You have him in tag team situations. You have him in trio situations. Why is he not doing or defending his title? And I definitely agree with that. But, we saw seeds being planted, on Dynamite as well as Battle of the Belts that maybe could lead to, Cage versus Wardlow in a built-out feud, which I'm hoping is the case.
Yes, like you said, that is. I'm not really a Brian Cage stan or a fan, but I do. I won't deny the talent that he does have. He's great in the ring, so it will, like you said, bring some momentum to Wardlow's title reign because he hasn't been well represented as the TNT champion. But it's not his fault; it's the booking. I think they're trying to still figure out, but now you have good big men that are just as equal, to face them. You have Luchasaurus back there. You have Lance Archer back there. So you have Powerhouse Hobbs back there. You could use your big men. Now you have the big men back there. You have the meaty men. So just use it. It'll work. This match, it received the pop. So. And people pop for Brian Cage when he came out and it confused the hell out of me, but it is what it is.
You know what? I think it was the promo before that got the people hyped up. The promo was good. It spotlighted, the angle that they're going with, having Khan and the rest of the group with Cage, but we didn't really hear a lot from Cage in the promo. So I don't know. Maybe people are excited to see what Cage can do outside of being a member of Team Taz.
Yeah, because, well, Ricky Starks happened. That's what happened with that. With the team that Starks happened. And we saw what went from there. But we'll move on from that match. But that was a great start out for that. It was a win that Wardlow needed and also an opponent that he needed as well. So
absolutely.
Great job. Meat versus meat, big meaty men. And then after that, we had the National Scissoring Day, Scissor Me Daddy Ass segment. Fun segment. This was fun. This was, I saw online people were saying this is the LG, all jokes aside, this was the quote unquote LGBTQ DX. And I was just like, I
can see it.
I can see it, but we've heard the stories, but you know what I'm saying? But this was very fun. And it just showed, again, Billy Gunn is really a genius when it comes to goofy stuff and making it over. You know, he's responsible for saying, the suck it chant, and he's responsible for scissor me daddy ass. So, if anything, it just, shows more respect to him, Billy Gunn, because he's always been the odd one out of DX. Is, people sometimes will kind of play on his contribution, what he contributed to the faction. So I'm glad that people are starting to see how authentic Billy Gunn is by himself, and what he contributes to the members of DX, and also what he does for the Acclaim. So it was a good little fun segment for the crowd. Just something, and I like that it pissed off people that takes wrestling too seriously too. It definitely pissed them off, but hey, they listen to the fans, and the fans love the Acclaim. The Acclaim is over. So whether you like it or not, the scissor me daddy ass, no matter how goofy or corny the gimmick is to you, it's over with the fans.
It's great marketing. You have to think about it. They said it on the show. This is the top selling shirt on AEW this year. It is October, and they've had a lot of shirts before now. So, Daddy Ass or Billy Gunn, he's done a really good job at making sure that this is solid, because think about it. If this was maybe done with another performer that didn't have the guidance or the backing of Billy Gunn, I don't necessarily know if it would have been over the way that it is with the Acclaimed.
Right.
But like I said, I think it's a great marketing, strategy. You have the fans that absolutely love it. I did not realize that so many people love the Acclaim until I was at All Out, and it was Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed, and everyone was booing Swerve in Our Glory, and I was like, whoa, this is different. And the crowd, they had one of the loudest pops of the night, the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
So that was shocking to me, because I thought it would be a more split crowd. People are noticing your Eagles.
Right. That's what I'm like, who's this? What the fuck? Don't come up here disrupting the show with that. Oh, she already put this in the bag, so I got to deal with that. But and you're right. To me, it took. I started to notice the shift that people are starting to around it. It was last year, and I want to say it was before the Ass Boys was included with them a little bit. But I cannot think of who they was facing. And it had something to do with Max Caster when he was freestyling. I have to do my homework again, but it was a little bit before Ass Boys. And then I want to say Dan Hansen. That little
Danhausen and Hook?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I want to say around that. That's when it started to be they started to pick up a little bit of the fandom. The fans started to and now you got people with signs, people wearing the shirts, people doing this, So
to be a kid in school again, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, Swerve kind of touched on it in his promo when he came out, but this scissor me thing is equivalent to the DX Suck It back in the 90s. So I can only imagine, the kids that watch wrestling at school nowadays doing that. Oh my God. Like,
just imagine a scissor me daddy ass, and they're gonna be like, you ain't gonna get suspended. They're gonna call your parents and be like, I'm concerned. I don't know what's going on. Why are they saying this? This is inappropriate. If you listening, you have a child, make sure your child's not saying it at school. Just
put the parental controls on.
Just keep it at, just keep it in the house. We know AEW kids, they rowdy. We saw the little boy that say, shut the fuck up. We saw the little boy.
What?
Yeah, he was shut the fuck. Like, he was on camera. Shut the fuck.
Oh, wow. Oh, geez.
Then you had another kid was flicking off MJF before.
Oh, yes, I remember that one.
Yeah, so the AEW kids a little rowdy compared to the WWE kids. The AEW kids, they ain't got no mind. They out of there. The little NBA young boy kids. That's why I call the AEW kids. So just make sure they don't do that at home. Please don't. But
please do not try this at home.
Please don't. Please don't have the kids stay there at home. But also, like, to piggyback off, then Swerve came and interrupted them, and he dropped it a promo. It's looking like Swerve may be the next big heel in AEW, is leading to his heel reign. What did you think about that segment?
In the words of MJF, I felt like this promo was mid. He didn't seem confident, right? When he came out, it kind of seemed like he was kind of just going off the cuff. And I watched it back. I watched it twice because I was like, first time I was paying attention, but I was a little bit distracted. And I was like, he kind of seems like he's not confident with what he's saying. So then I watched again, and he definitely didn't seem like he was too confident. When he first came out, he seemed fine. But as the promo kept going, it kind of seemed like, okay, are you confident in what you're saying? You want us to believe it? So, I mean, I think Swerve would be a great heel. It just makes me question, where does Keith Lee go from here?
Right.
So.
Well, we did see Keith Lee looked at him, like, after the match that they had with Acclaim when Acclaim won the titles. We did see Keith Lee look at him and then just walked off. Like, he looked at him and he walked off. So maybe it will start from there. But I do agree with you because the promo that he did backstage was better than what he did when he was, outside on stage. So maybe, maybe it wasn't as confident, and maybe he had full control of what he wanted to say backstage prior to on stage. So we have a potential of seeing Swerve in his heel reign. Maybe it will start off with Keith Lee. I guess whenever Keith Lee come back, or if he's out on break, he may be out on break or whatever. But we'll just see. We'll just trust the process, I guess.
We will.
We'll just trust the process. And then after the National Scissoring segment, we had the Roosh versus Hangman Page. That was a banger. That was probably one of my favorite matches of that night. Hangman and Roosh, they, great athletes. Roosh is finally back at his what he's used to being that he was really sick last year. He's finally back to his ways, his old, he's faster. He's getting the hang of the ring. And then, of course, Adam Hangman Page, that he speaks for himself. He's great. He's dominant. He can bring out the best in you, or he'll make you mad. We've saw how that, that turned out. So, did you enjoy that match, or what did you?
I did like that match. Yeah, I feel like they have really good chemistry together as well, just like I said with MJF and Yuta. But I think it's nice to see Roosh kind of not be involved at this point with Andrade. Like, he's doing his own thing. And when he was first introduced in AEW, it very much seemed like they were just going to like be a partnership, a tag team of some sort. But, I think he stood well with Hangman, seeing that Hangman is the number one contender for Jon Moxley's title. So, him going toe-to-toe with Hangman, you never know. It could put him in contention for the AEW World title.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then after that, of course, Hangman with the victory. And then after that, Private Party came out. I guess they're still continuing that feud between Private Party and also Andrade, being under Andrade's contract or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Moxley came out and he just told them, you better not touch him or I'm going to touch you, because Moxley is facing him and he wants him at his best.
Right.
Which what a real champion wants, is Moxley. Moxley wants you at your best. I don't want you at your, you limping or slightly injured. No, keep him healthy. I want him at his best. You want your opponent to be at their best. You don't want, so being a true champion.
It was interesting, this promo, because it seemed like he was hinting a little bit at the drama that's been happening backstage. Mm-hmm. And he did it in such a eloquent way. He threw shade, but he wasn't like fully shady, right?
Yeah.
And I really like that because, the fans have acknowledged that Jon Moxley is really like showing up and showing out right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to go on this long vacation after he lost the title, but he stepped up to the plate, and now he's the face of AEW again.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to bring up what happened was just a little bit interesting, because I think a lot of people are wondering, where's the Elite at? Are they still suspended? What's going on with Kenny Omega? So I don't know. That thing is messy.
Yeah, it's still messy, but we've gotten updated that John Moxley did renew a contract with AEW for another 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
This time he's not able to continue with GCW. Our prayer has been answered. Our prayer has been answered. He don't have to. He can continue to do indies and also those that are in partnership with AEW, but GCW is out. So our prayers have been answered. So we won't see him back at the junkyard no more.
I don't know how Renee does it.
I don't either.
Like those matches in GCW, those death matches are
I know
insane.
she was happy.
Oh, she was.
Thank you so much.
Damn it! Finally,
yes. Like the matches at GCW made me nervous. I'm like, if he made just one slip up,
girl,
like he's injured.
Yes.
Please stop doing the death matches over there. Just do it here so we can see. But I'm glad that Tony, you can renew. We just need you to leave Game Changer Wrestling alone. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. And he lost to Nick, and he doesn't have the title no more, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So it's official. So we have John Moxley for a long time. So we'll see how that comes about. So we're gonna get into some ramp. Oh no, I'm sorry, we still got more to go. Luchasaurus. He faced Fuego del Sol. That was a jobber match.
Squash, yes.
Yeah, he's slaughtered that man. Of course, that's continuing on because Jungle Boy.
Reptar. I have to say though, evil Luchasaurus scares me.
He scares you?
Yes, he gives me like Boogeyman vibes. Like, I don't know if you watched WWE when Boogeyman was around, but like that shit was scary. And I was young, and I was watching, and I would have nightmares. I'm like, ooh, like, and he's not like U Factor yet, but his aura is very just like, ooh.
No, Boogeyman he grossed me out. He didn't scare me. He just grossed me out. Like the worms coming out his mouth. Yeah. And it's just, that was so nasty to me. I couldn't eat when he was on TV.
Absolutely not.
He was nasty. I get it though, because Luchasaurus, he's really tall, he's really big, and he wears that mask. So he looks intimidating, but I heard he's like the nicest person ever.
Have you seen him on he was on a reality show?
Was it Big Brother?
It was.
Okay. I didn't see him on Big Brother, but I heard he was on Big Brother.
Yeah, I saw some clips. He seems like you just mentioned, like he's very nice, but with that mask on, it's just like, child, please take it off.
That's why Christian did a real good job of having him have his music change, make the gimmick dark, make the mask dark, make his gear dark, make him dark. He's a big guy, so make him intimidating. He's big. He don't need to be kissing babies and stuff. He needs to be scary. He needs to be intimidating. But that was a squash match. Jungle Boy came out. He cut a promo. Christian cut his promo as well. So it looks like we will get Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy in Canada. So it's continuing that feud, because it's building up Luchasaurus and also Christian, because they both his babies. So a vet just building two stars up, basically. That's all it is. A real vet doing real vet things. And also for the main event that happened on Dynamite, it was Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho and Sammy. It was hard to kind of pay attention with the backstage drama that happened. So some stuff that Sammy did a Spanish star and it got nothing. The crowd was quiet. it like the backstage drama and the heat that people don't like Sammy. It just distracted them from the match because
Absolutely.
it had the potential of being a great tag match to main event, but the backstage drama is kind of interfered with this one, so it was hard to pay attention to this match. It was just ready for the match to be over, and the fact that Sammy was the one that took the pin, it made it even worse.
Definitely agree on the backstage drama. Does Tony Khan not realize like he is the drama, or what is happening here? I mean, it's like literally you've almost tried to fight Eddie Kingston, or you did fight Eddie Kingston, then Andrade. Like, sweetie, just relax. Like, you know what I always wonder too? Where is Ty when this happens? Like, is she in catering? She enjoying a latte somewhere? Like,
she probably be back there and just be like, oh, okay.
Here we go again.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I don't know.
But
or with Anna, she probably with Anna with everything be happening. Oh.
That's right. I thought it was a good match though. Like you said, I think the backstage politics really kind of got in the way of this match. Every time Sammy was on, the TV, I'm like, oh God, with the tongue, like, please just put it back in your mouth. Like, you right there, you don't have to do that all the time, sir. Like, but Daniel Garcia, I felt like he did really good in this match. We saw like the I don't know the word. Like, we saw the frustration almost of him going up against his mentor and then having his hero in the corner. And I think that story, it has been very good in AEW because, now we see, he isn't really messing with Jericho Appreciation Society anymore. And it's been interesting to see his path along the way, siding with Daniel Bryan and, wondering what he's going to do next in his AEW career.
He's very conflicted right now. Mm-hmm. You can see it. And I like it. I like this. This because Daniel Garcia is going to be the one. Like, he's the future. So
absolutely,
like I said last week on the show, it's really a flex when you have Jericho and also Bryan Danielson in your corner guiding you as a young talent. Like, not a lot of people can say that. I've got two legends in my corner that's guiding me to be the guy. Because they are of ROH or just any wrestling that he, pursues to, whether if he wants to stay in AEW or if he wants to go to the big leagues in WWE, he has that guidance. He's been with two people that's been in the major leagues and also everywhere else. So,
very good point.
Yeah. So, I guess not too much on that because Sammy was part of this, and I was just ready for him to get over. Like, I've hated. You taking time for me enjoying my Jericho, and I don't like that. So now I got beef with you because I didn't want to watch it because, So we're going to get into Rampage. Rampage started off with Blackpool Combat Club versus Rouge and Private Party. What you think about this match? This match was pretty fun to me.
It was fun. I have to commend Jon Moxley for his ability to be flexible. We see him in a singles match, but then, he's in a trios match. And I think that's cool because we don't necessarily see champions do that a lot. They usually kind of carve their own path and worry about their championship. But the fact that he's able to, still be in a tag team or trios capacity with the Blackpool Combat Club, I think is really good. The one thing in this match that had me pop was the Private Party swing from Claudio. That was really good.
Yes. To piggyback what you said, I do enjoy that. You don't want to overwork your champions, but you don't want to just have them hold the titles.
Right.
But I do like that they let Jade Cargill hold the title, but we'll get more into that when we get to women business. But I do appreciate that about Moxley because Moxley likes to work. He's a workaholic. That's he enjoys getting in the ring. He's his wife has said it himself, like that's his happy place when he's in the ring. So to see him in that trios match, it was entertaining and I liked it. and he adapts to the wrestlers, which I also
Yes.
enjoy. He doesn't have much of a luchador background or doing those type of matches, but he was able to kind of fill in for Roosh. Like he was able to do certain counters and also take certain bumps for Roosh.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that as well. I like when wrestlers learn to kind of adapt to the person rather than the person adapt to the champion. And that makes you, who you are as a wrestler. If you're able to adapt to that person or that type of wrestler, which is why I like Eddie Kingston can do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
When Eddie Kingston cares, yes, he'll do that. When he just, okay, whatever, then you get okay, whatever out of Eddie Kingston. So I appreciate things like that. And Private Party did one spot, and I it won't come to me, but they did it. They did it. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
There it is right there. Yeah. So Private Party, like I've said, they are improving. They're getting better. Matt Hardy is good for Private Party. Mm-hmm. That's who they really need. So I guess we'll trust that process and we'll wait with Private Party. But that was a good match. Next, Battle BCC won that. Y'all know that. We had Varsity Blondes versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods. We won't get too much in that. That was another job match, squash match.
One thing on that. Are we seeing a rebrand for them? I know Smart Mark Sterling mentioned that he now owns the term varsity. So I'm assuming that they can't go by Varsity Blondes anymore. Are we expecting them to be repackaged, or what exactly is going on? I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like ever since Julia left, they've been on the decline.
Yeah.
They haven't really had a lot going on. So, I mean, I think a repackaging would be best for them, but it's kind of like, where are you going from here?
Yeah. Because Brian Pillman Jr., you can do a lot with him. He just has to be consistent.
Right.
Varsity Blondes can actually be a top tag team. They just have to be consistent and I guess figure out their character, their gimmick, and their look, and also their gear. Once they start, just kind of figuring out who they are, just like with the Acclaim have to figure it out too. Mm-hmm. And when they figured it out, then it's been up and it's stuck now. Right. So I guess they just have to figure it out with Varsity Blondes. They just gotta get in the booth and be creative. Just think.
Right.
Sometimes that's all it takes. So I guess we'll just wait and see, because I think it may be leading to that, but I think it's more that they need to work on.
Yeah, and I mean, if they want to play off the who his father is or do that type of thing, I mean, they could definitely do that as well. I mean, mm-hmm. I'm not sure if the British Bulldog's son Harry Smith Jr. is signed anywhere, but maybe having him come in, because we know that Hart Foundation connection could be something that entices the fans maybe to watch. So I don't know, Tony Khan, if you're listening, maybe you should add that to your notes. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that. I actually like that. That would be a nice little faction. I like that. And then we had the AEW Trios Championship. We have the Death Triangle versus Dark Order. I love this match.
I did too.
It was very you didn't know who was gonna win after this, because they both was banging. Of course, with Death Triangle, they gonna always save the day. You can't go wrong with them. He knows to get them when he's in desperate calls, the desperate measures. Lucha Brothers, what y'all doing? I need y'all right quick. Okay. All right. Okay. And but this was a fun match. This was one of the matches I actually had to rewatch, because it was very intense. It had you, we don't know if he was gonna get crowned a new trios champion. We don't know, but I will say I know some people was disappointed that Dark Order lost.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt them, to me, honestly, because it's Death Triangle, so it didn't hurt me. It's just now with Pac though, we saw that Roosh gave Pac a hammer, and Pac used the hammer. I want to point out, if y'all recall, last year Pac is in Andrade's debt. If y'all remember, now this was around the time that Ray Phoenix was out when he almost broke his arm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they probably bringing that back with Pac. It might be a storyline cooking.
Maybe.
It may be. It may. Because it's probably one of them things they forgot about and they just kind of brought it back since the Andrade thing happened.
You know, I agree with you in regards to Dark Order. I feel like the win didn't necessarily hurt them, but I think the way that, you know, they brought up Brody Lee and that match, or that date being his last match, I think that might have been what bothered the fans as to why they didn't win, because it was almost seen as like, well, they need to win because it'll, you know, pay homage to Brody Lee. I think that's what bothered the fans. I don't think it was anything else, but this was a really good match. I don't know if you noticed, but JR was given a little bit of a hint on commentary, because you had Jericho there, and he was talking about 10 leaving Dark Order. I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't know if they were just trying to, you know, be a little bit funny.
I've heard him say it too.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, weird.
I mean, Andrade has been pressing him, and Roosh has too.
Yeah.
And 10 is to the point where he's tired of losing. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Maybe we will probably get a solo 10. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I do know that match was fun. Great. I just love Death Triangle in general. And I love Dark Order too. I've always liked Dark Order.
Me too.
Said Dark Order. But we're gonna get into Battle of the Belts. Tupac again. He was booked again. And he had to face it was Pac versus Trey Beretta for the All Atlantic Championship. This match was a banger. It's like Pac didn't even have a second match.
He didn't have a break. I commend him, because I was like, Jesus. You know, usually on WWE cards, when people have two matches in a night, they usually start them off at the beginning of the pay-per-view and then they have them end. No, girl, he was back to back. I'm like, Jesus Christ, get this man some water, a break, a snack, something. Damn.
They said at the actual thing, they said they gave Pac a towel, they gave him some water. And they just like, okay, Trick coming out in like 10 minutes. And we saw the result. It's like Pac didn't even wrestle the first time. He has that adrenaline, it was kicking in. So Tupac is back. Tupac is still Tupac. He retained the title. Trent is a great athlete. I love Trent. So Trent he's one of those wrestlers, he can lose, he can win. It doesn't matter, because Trent is going to give the best out of you.
Right.
He going to get the best out of you. You're not going to get the best out of him. You won't get the best out of you. So I love Trent. I'm a Trent stan. I've been a Trent stan. So appreciate Trent while he's here, because he's one of the ones that's been wrestling for a while, almost 15 years. So, you know, he's not getting younger either. So
him and Sue.
Yeah. And then after the match, when Pac had hit him with the hammer again, we saw a serious side of Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
He wasn't playing no games. I like seeing that side of Orange Cassidy. I like that.
I did too. Getting spicy with it. He called him Mimosa. A little bit of bubbly in him. I don't know.
This ain't Orange Cassidy. This is Mimosa Cassidy. I like that. You should put that on a shirt.
Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. Now
Cassidy. Mimosa Cassidy came out and he wasn't playing with Pac, so I like that feud. And they have a match this Wednesday in Canada. So you know that's gonna be a banger. Them two give good bangers, so that's gonna be a good match. After that, we had yes, that's Mimosa Cassidy. Now that Low said, I'm about to start saying it now. Mimosa Cassidy. Next on the Battle of the Belts card, it was for the ROH World Tag Team Championship. It was FCR versus Gates of Agony. That is the faction with Tyo. I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong. There you go. Y'all see him. Y'all see him. I don't want to pronounce this man's name wrong. Whew, Khan's fine.
I got it. It's Tao. it's Tao Leona.
All I see is Khan. I'm sorry.
The ladies love Khan.
Look, put that picture back up. Put the picture back up. Put it back up, Graham. Look. Oh. You know how God, you can tell when God took their time on people. He's one of those. Just.
Do you know who Colby is on Twitter?
Oh, yeah.
She put me on to Khan. I had no idea who this man was, but I kept seeing her tweet about him, and I was like, who is this? That's the only reason why I know who this man is.
A fine specimen. That is a fine human being. That's who that is, a fine human being. FTR beat the fine man and his friend. And we had the Ass Boys was mocking them. I'm becoming a fan of the Ass Boys doing that. So they was with the fans dressed like FTR. One had the cardboard boxes of all the belts. One of them had something said, "I'm still angry."
I love them. I feel like they are so funny, but they don't even really have to try that hard. I feel like they're just goofy like that.
Yes, I think they're starting to find their identity a little bit.
Yeah.
Leaving from their pops, so they're finding their own identity, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So this may be a good fun feud. So I'm liking what I'm seeing the Ass Boys. I know y'all told me to be nice about them, give them a chance. So I'm giving them a chance, y'all. So y'all don't have to jump me again. So now it's time to get into some women business. Okay, we finally get into some women business. The women showed up and showed out that week. Anyway, they had the best segment this week. AEW women division this week. It was a good week for them.
It was.
For Dynamite, we're gonna start off with Toni Storm and Athena and Willow Nightingale versus Serena Deeb, Jamie Hayter, and Penelope Ford. Banger. They did great. The ladies did a great job. This was a great match, all 6 of them.
Yes.
Great. I want to talk about Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb is a beast. That lady is a technical beast. I love when I saw what she did in the ring with them submissions. She's great. More people need to put their respect on Serena Deeb. Toni Storm, great. Willow, great.
Queen,
great. Penelope, since she came back, great. Just great all around. This was a fun match, great match. They had a lot of time this time. Things happen. Some storytelling happened also in this match as well. So, what did you think about the first women's business?
I was glad to see Willow pick up the pin here. I think people are like, is she signed? Is she not signed? And we still don't really know what exactly her status is with AEW, but I think her getting the win here is, it speaks volumes. So,
yes.
If she is not signed, this will definitely key in Tony Khan, like, hello, please sign her already. And if she is signed, then, it's an added that she won. But
yes.
Like you said, Penelope Ford has been awesome since she's been back in AEW, and the other women involved in the match were awesome as well. But the addition of having Saraya and Britt Baker on the side, we saw a little bit of action there as well.
Yeah.
And going into this match, we didn't know if Saraya was cleared, and at the end of the match, we saw the brawl and everyone was fighting, and Saraya, I guess, is cleared. I mean, her and Britt Baker were going at it.
Yeah.
I just want to know who are these doctors at AEW? Like, because at WWE, she was not cleared. And now here, she is cleared. So it's like, what are the specifications on who gets cleared and who doesn't get cleared? That was my main thing at the end of the match. I was like,
right. And just like my other co-host Banks was saying, like, especially with a neck injury, you want to make sure that you get more than one doctor that has, you get you looked at. So from my understanding, even before she signed with AEW, she's mentioned that she was clear, but they just didn't want to risk that, which I understand because it's a neck injury. That's an injury that took out Stone Cold. He wasn't able to wrestle. We see Big E is out. You know what I'm saying? Neck injuries is one of those injuries that you just cannot ignore or say, oh, okay, well, they good to go. No, it's a neck injury that can make or break you. You can get paralyzed. You can't be here. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and I think some people too, especially fans of like the women's division, I think they look at like Nikki Bella coming back all the time for like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania and etc. And they're like, well, if she can do it, why can't Saraya or Paige do it? But people have to think about, the severity of their injuries. Like they're probably not the same. So that's why Nikki Bella can do that and Saraya or Paige couldn't.
Right. Absolutely. I think I feel like Saraya may do not so much ring action. It might be from time to time, but I'm guessing it might not be like all the time. We'll just have to see. But I did cring a little bit because I was scared. I was like,
yes, girl.
No, don't punch. Don't do nothing. Just you don't even have to wrestle. You could just be there to guide the women's division like you're doing right now, like since you're here. So keep the Brit AEW women division versus Saraya with the women's evolution. Just keep that. You don't even have to wrestle. We don't even have to see you wrestle. You could just do what William Regal is doing. You can be
good point.
You don't even have to do nothing. But if she gonna do stuff like that, I'm okay with. Like if you you do a little finisher and then you just stay ringside, that's fine. But doing a whole match, it's gonna make me nervous, to be honest.
Same.
I'm gonna probably cringe a little bit. But so that happened, and also like you said, Willow got the pin for that. That was major. I was proud of her. She was very proud of having that. She cut a promo backstage and was interrupted by Jade. So that set up for the Battle of the Belts, which we will talk about after the Rampage segment. We also had a little action backstage with it was Tay Conti and also Anna Jay. They interrupted Madison Rayne and also Sky Blue. Interrupted them to set up the match for Rampage. We ended up getting Madison Rayne, which is the AEW women's coach, with Sky Blue, and also Tay Conti versus Anna Jay. I've enjoyed that match. It was cute, and it also I like that it displayed Anna Jay's improvement.
Yes,
the ring. And I also want to say Tay Conti improved a lot as well. Tay Conti did real good. Even though I have my how I feel about her, but I don't deny what she has done in the ring because they both did real good as a tag team. They work together. They have great chemistry. Madison Rayne and also Sky Blue also as well. You could tell that Sky Blue is teachable because you could tell with the body language Madison Rayne was doing, to make sure that she remembers her cue on when to come in. So Madison Rayne is a great addition she's been a great addition so far as the coach for the AEW women's division. What did you think of that match?
I agree with everything you just said. I'm glad that Anna got the pin in the match because I feel like, again, it did elevate her that, she is getting better in the ring. Absolutely loved her gear. When they came out in their mannerisms in the match, it reminded me of Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, the Beautiful People, for some reason, which is interesting because, Madison Rayne was a little bit involved there as well. So I'm not sure if that was intentional. I don't know what, but I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, that's a good callback too. I did not realize that. That's a good callback. And then what happened on Rampage? Not Rampage, I'm sorry, but the Battle of the Belts. We end up having Jade Cargill versus Willow Nightingale for the TBS Women's Championship match. This was probably another good Jade Cargill match. Ember Moon brought out a good, the best out of Jade Cargill. Willow Nightingale also brought that same energy out in Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, she was faster. She was confident. And this time she didn't remember things as if she was playing basketball. I have said a few times, Jade Cargill, being that she is an athlete and she plays basketball, they remember plays. When the coach say they have to remember. And that's how she was wrestling. Like she was wrestling like she has to remember. I have to remember to be here, here, and here instead of just going with the flow of things. Just relax. You don't have to remember this play. Because 9 times out of 10, the opponent may not remember. Just relax. It's okay. So this one, she's finally relaxed more. Willow, like I said, brought the best out in Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill she was finishing her moves. It wasn't sloppy, and it was one of the best Jade Cargills I have seen since she's been here, since she's been champion. And of course, Willow Nightingale, she's incredible talented. I'm a fan of hers. I've seen her in person and seen her on TV, and I love what I'm seeing. And I'm also seeing Willow. She elevates each time that you see her on TV. If it's a move that she feels like she could do better, she does it better the next week. So I like this match. I like this. What did you think?
I agree with you. I wish the match was longer, though. It did feel like it sped by a little bit, and I think they were working well really together. I think a lot of people going into it, they did think that Willow was finally going to win up against Jade, but I saw one theory, and I forgot who said it, but they feel like, Willow's going to go back to the drawing board, baby, and, figure out what she didn't do right or, how she can gain that championship from Jade and maybe come back in a couple months and actually get the title, which obviously, being a fan of Willow, I would love that. But seeing Nyla Rose at the end of the match, it kind of makes you question, like, what exactly is going on here? I like the addition of Nyla. I think Nyla could be a great champion. She's been champion before, and I think a match between her and Jade would be a banger. But I also, at the same time, would love to see Willow hold that championship.
Right. I saw people still trying to do it. Are they never just going to have Jade? Yes, eventually they will have Jade. Like I've always said, the original plan, it was Chris Statlander, and she got hurt. So they're trying to figure out who to replace, that, or if they're holding on until Chris come back, when she is possibly could come back sometime next year. Because she already had her surgery, and from my understanding, from her tweets and stuff like that, she has, been training or doing her physical therapy and things like that. So I could see her returning by the spring, early summer.
Double or nothing, maybe.
You don't want to hold it too long, but I could see them probably doing it at 50.
Yeah.
Because she's right at 40 now. Was it 39?
She's 39, yeah.
39. Yeah, okay. So, I could see either 45 or 50. Give her the 50 wins and then have her drop it finally.
I mean, who do you see if it isn't Chris? Who do you think at this point would be the right person to take that title off of her?
Either Willow or Nyla. That's the only Willow, Nyla, or possibly Jamie Hayter.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the only 3 that I've seen that I possibly could see that's not Chris Statlander. But the 4, Chris Statlander, Willow, Nyla Rose, or Jamie Hayter. Those 4.
Someone brought up a good point. Willow might be Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I mean, we haven't seen Mercedes Martinez defend the title in a quick minute. I mean, That would be a good match, but
Right.
I don't know. That is a good point, though.
That is, I forgot about. Yeah, I think that's probably why they haven't announced her sign, because they probably want her to be the face of ROH women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is, her and Mercedes are the only two
Right.
from ROH that's on the. They haven't signed anyone else, so
Right.
maybe that's a possibility for that. So we'll just have to wait and see and trust the process. But Willow had a great week. So
she did.
For your AEW wrestler of the week, who is your AEW wrestler of the week?
Of course, it's my queen, Willow Nightingale.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes. Get your flowers. I love seeing her smile, so genuine.
Yes.
She deserves all the flowers that she received this week. She was trending. All eyes was on her. People are advocating for her, and she gets a pop in the crowd. People was cheering her name and all types of stuff. So I was happy for that as well. My AEW wrestler of the week is also Willow Nightingale. She deserves all the flowers. She showed up. She had 2 matches on the same week. So that's a big thing. That means something. That says a lot. If you booked on Dynamite and also Battle of the Bells, that says a lot. So proud of you, Willow.
Sign her, TK, if you haven't.
Make sure y'all buy her merch. Don't just say that y'all like Willow. Buy her merch. If y'all start buying her merch, then they have no choice but to, okay, we're going to have to sign her, because they buy her, they buy her stuff. The dollars have to make sense, y'all. So if you love Willow Nightingale, make sure that y'all buy her merch. It's on the AEW shop. It's right there. So yeah, I know she's soft signed, but I'm just saying, just make sure that y'all buy her merch. So that way the dollars make sense and they have no choice but to sign her. Okay. And for the Goofy of the week this week, let me put up the nominations. You people have voted. It was up to, let me go to my bookmarks. 241 of y'all voted. The first one was Sammy Face. That was 14%. The other nominee was Sammy Just Because, and that was 42%. Then you had Sammy Fans, that was 16%. And then the other one was Bobby Fish Just Because, and that was 28%. And the winner was Sammy Just Because. Sammy is the Goofy of the week for this week. Why is he Goofy of the week? Well, you heard what had happened. Andrade and Sammy had a little fender bender backstage. Sammy was talking shit on Twitter. Andrade pulled up. Andrade didn't care and pressed that man, punched that man. Andrade had to go home. Sammy had to stay, and Sammy took the pin. So yeah, he Goofy of the week because it's just Sammy. Sammy's just, he has to grow up. You need to grow up, sir. You're pushing 30. It's time to grow up. You're a little immature. You're still a kid. Jericho, stop saving him, okay? He just can't be saved. But Sammy just needs to grow up. You need to mature, baby. You're still a kid. You still have a childlike mind. So you need to grow up, or you're gonna mess up your potential legacy, because you're a great athlete. You're phenomenal at that. But you have to grow up. You have to mature, or you're going to mess up yourself. You're going to self-sabotage yourself. The fans done turn on you already. So,
you know what it reminds me of, just by the way that you're saying all of this, it reminds me of a young Drew McIntyre. And he's talked about it before, how he had to be released in order to really grow up. And he went on the indies and he went to Impact and finally went to WWE. But he has candidly said, I had to grow up. Yeah. And I'm almost wondering if this is something that Sammy Guevara will have to go through, because he's acting extremely immature, whether it's in the ring or online or backstage. We just can't have that.
Yeah, it's a lot of them back there need to grow up. a lot of y'all in the AEW roster, a lot of them are young. We've all been young before, in our 20s. I know, you do not want to sabotage a blessing because of your immaturity. Some people are forgiving. Some companies are not forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Tony Khan would be so forgiving since the CM Punk situation. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to work on that. I know, you back there with people that you might not like, or you might not agree with how they run things, or you may not agree with who they are, what they belief is. We get it, but you got to put that to the side. You vent to somebody, vent to a friend about it. We do it all the time. If it's people at work that get on our nerves, you text your friend about it. Girl, this girl at work, he blah, 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 blah. Talk to somebody, but don't bring it to your workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did a Spanish Star, beautiful one at that, and nobody said nothing. Why? Because you immature. Nobody even want to cheer for you anymore, no matter what you do.
He needs to talk from you, it seems like.
No, because I'm gonna cuss them out. And you don't want to, they don't like tough love. They want people to coodle them, and I'm not about to do that. That, which brings me to my sermon before we get up out of here. I know that y'all was asking me to replace Sammy with Swerve with Goofy of the Week because of what happened today. I just had something to say. I've heard the interview twice, and just to thoroughly hear what he said, the second part of the interview that was posted underneath the thread that he did with the podcast. If you don't know the issue, basically BRP. I've had Cal on the show, and of course Drip is on the show. They're part of Black Wrestling Podcast. They do their countdowns every year. They've been doing it almost 4 to 5 years now. And it's just to celebrate and also give flowers to the Black wrestlers that's in the industry, whether it's major or whether if it's in the indies. Just the top 50 is just to give flowers, just appreciate. And what had happened was, Swerve asked to be taken off the list. Today, the explanation of why he wanted to be taken off the list was today. And he said something to the sort of, he doesn't want to compete with another Black wrestler. He feels like it was quote unquote clout chasing. Whatever. And also, but the second part, when he was explaining the second part, he stated that, he said he doesn't want to be compared to another Black wrestler, but put us all in one, which he was talking about, like the PWI list. I get what he's saying, because it's not just him that think like that. It's a lot of them that think like that. But y'all have to understand the difference between inclusion and appreciation. What the list is not to put you in a competition with another Black wrestler. The list is just showing and displaying that it is Black wrestlers out there, because the list that y'all value so much, they don't put y'all in the top 10 or put y'all in the top 5s and things like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's always something. So we never really seen we have so many Black talent now, whether it's 300, 500, no matter what it is, it's just to show, hey, we want to give our flowers to Bianca or Bobby or Carmelo Hayes, or, just different people. It's just to show and appreciate different Black wrestlers. Nobody is saying that you have to compete with Chris Bay or compete with another Black wrestler. It's just to show appreciation and to give flowers to other Black wrestlers. It's not competition. Also just to say that they are chasing clout, that is wrong. It's not about chasing clout. They've been doing this for almost 5 years. They have put you on that list multiple times last year, the year before that, even when they heard about you. And when they put you on that list, it gave them, gave you eyes, certain viewers that's fans of them to know who you are. Because some people didn't know who you are until they seen you on their list. And I'm not saying that, they made you or nothing like that, but you have to think about things like that. So, I honestly feel like that whole thing, all he had to do was reach out to him and have a conversation. What is the guidelines? And from my understanding, they explained in the comments where they was going by and, things like that. So I want to say to all wrestlers that's of color, especially Black wrestlers, y'all need to understand that when it's all said and done, we will have y'all back. Us, your own. You understand me? We will have y'all back. When it's all said and done, your own people. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure and you want to understand that Black people, we have to stick together. But because people are egotistic, people need to grow up. And this cliquish shit, it has to stop, and it won't be no progress until those 3 things are checked. You need to check your fucking ego, you need to check yourself, and you need to check the people around you. Nobody is coming at you on no competition. We're trying to give you your flowers. And for you to say that about to say that about them, if they doing it to chase, it's not about chasing clout. They don't need to chase clout. Nobody needs to chase clout. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hypocritical of you to say that and not say anything towards the PWI or the countdown that Reg does. And it's no shade to nobody. I'm not coming at nobody crazy, but it's just a little hypocritical for you to come at them about a list and not come at anybody else about a list. So check your egos at home. Take accountability for what you do and what you have said, and just have a conversation. We are adults. Be grown. Talk to that person. Hey, I don't like that you had this person above me. That's all he had to say. That's all you have to. If it's somebody that you don't like that was above you, that's all has to be said. Now, that's all I got to say. So if you don't like what I have to say, you can talk to me. You know my DMs, or you can email me. We can have the conversation. But to Black Wrestling, I enjoy what y'all do. Keep doing the BRP 50. We know what you do for the culture. We know what you have done for the culture. Don't get discouraged. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, God reveals in multiple ways. And God needed to reveal who's for y'all and who's not for y'all. And that's all I got to say. Bishop Keeks on the ones and twos. Is there any shout outs you have, Lo, before we get up out of here?
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, you definitely just nailed it on the head. Like, please have conversations with people if you need clarification, because this probably would have not hit the timeline if someone would have just slid in someone else's DMs and asked for clarification. So you nailed it.
Just have a conversation, y'all. We hey, I don't like what you said. Can we talk? Okay. And just have a conversation. Hey, I don't agree with me being at 19. I feel like I should have been at number 5. Okay, they would have had a conversation with you. They would have just told you why. And then this and this and this. It's just a conversation, y'all. Like, we are old. Just have a conversation. I do it all the time. I press people all the time. Hey, I don't like you, but I want to tell you why I don't. Like, I do it all the time. If you know me, you know I do it all the time. If I see you in person, what you said the other day, I don't like. Can we talk over here? Nick will tell you. I've done it. Nick. It's different people that will tell you, she came at me. Yes, I did, because I need to get an understanding. It doesn't, I do it all the time. Hey, can you not mention me with these people? I don't like them. It's simple conversation. We too grown. So Black Wrestling, make sure, we love you. We rock with you. You know what I'm saying? It's no Swerve. Change that. That's ugly. Don't be like that. You know what I'm saying? You too talented. You don't want to mess up what you got going. You about to be a big heel in AEW. Don't mess up that momentum because of this foolishness. Have a conversation with them. Hit them up on a DM. Black wrestlers. They don't like y'all like that. They don't like y'all like that. So stop acting like that. Stop being like that. They not for y'all. Because at the end of the day, y'all gonna come to us when it comes down to it. So stop being like that. It's the reason why Malcolm X said chickens came home to roost. It's the reason why that saying is a saying. So y'all need to chill out. We too old. And enjoy it. Life too short. It's too short. It is too short. But thank you, Lo, for coming to the show. Make sure y'all following Wrestling Winedown. And also, I want to give you your flowers because you was at Comic Con. You spoke on the Women of Color panel. I was watching via live. You probably didn't see the comments.
I
was like,
I am.
No, you better speak. It was great hearing you guys. You guys spoke truth. Y'all spoke the real, especially when y'all was talking this when it comes to the women of color in content.
Yes.
Y'all spoke the real for that. I definitely appreciate you for coming to the show. I was excited to get you on the show. I had the dates mixed up, but you was here now. So thank you for coming in. Make sure that y'all follow Lo. Give her your flowers. She's wonderful. I admire her. She inspires me. And I also, just show her love. I'm just happy that she's here.
Thank you.
Just show her some love. She's beautiful. She knows what she be talking about. And I love her opinions. I value her opinions and I value your content on your show. I've been listening to your show since 2019. So thank you for coming to the show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Now take us home, Graham. Take me home with my stand.
You've mentioned a couple names recently. Who were they?
Listen, man. They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.